Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. As you can see, I am standing in the middle of a power line in the right of way. I'll show you the towers. As you can see, you can probably, if we're quiet, hear the power. How much power is running through this, I have no idea, but you can sort of tell by the right of way, and you can see the right of way is from that tree line to that tree line, and the amount of distance between them is usually determined how much power is running through these lines, transmission lines. If it's about 68 to 100 feet, you're talking probably 44,000 volts to 115,000 volts. If it's wider, like 125 to 150 feet wide, you're looking at about 230,000 volts. And if it's 180 feet wide to 200 feet wide, you're looking at about 500,000, 500,000 to 525,000 volts. That's a lot of power. Let me be quiet for a second and see if you can hear. Probably not. You might be able to hear that. We'll just find out. What am I doing up here on the power line? Well, I'm going to talk about using power lines, using railroads as bug out routes. How are you going to get out of Dodge? I recommend to everyone, don't worry about getting out of Dodge. Move today. Get to the country. Get to your primary bug out location if you can. A lot of us can't do that, so I understand that. So you're going to have to think of how am I going to bug out. The best way is to have a plan. Something happens, you hit the road quickly. People are going to be confused. You're going to have a few hours, maybe a day or two, where people aren't really turning violent because they're in shock. If it's an EMP, we won't be hearing that noise above our heads because it will probably take the power grid down. So how are you going to get home? Let's talk about the power lines. Usually they go from one location to the other location. So if you're not trying to get to where the power line is taking you, you can't use it. But a lot of times there's power lines going in a general direction. In South Carolina, I am standing on someone's property. Correct. Duke Power has the right of way to put these towers. They have a right of way to maintain the vegetation in here and keep the trees cut down, but they belong to someone. So you will be trespassing. In my area here, it's pretty much just wilderness and woods. So you probably won't, run into anyone, but not far from here, these power lines go through people's fields, farmers' fields that they're cut. Cows underneath them. So you walking through his field, he's going to see you from a long ways away. Here, you're going to be pretty hidden. But I own property right there. That's my property right over there. So I will be watching in a worst case, and I'm at my bug out location, I'm at the property. I'll be watching this to monitor who comes back and forth. To me, this would be great in a bug or in a worst case situation because I can go to friends' house. I have friends located down there, and I have friends located down there. So I could use this if I didn't want to use the roads. These are large parcels of land in here, so really, if I had permission from a few people, I could travel a long ways and get to where I need to go. And that would be just locally. Right over that little hill right there, that first one right here, the close one where that tower is, it's pretty steep drop off, and then it gets even worse. But what they've done was the trail actually goes into the woods a couple hundred yards, goes around the big gorge, and it comes out on the other side. A very nice trail. It's a four-wheeler trail, so you could actually walk it very easily. For me, I will probably be monitoring this. If you were going to monitor it both directions at the same time, you'd need two people. I would probably monitor it in the LPOP located on the side where I would keep track of people coming through. This area is pretty clear. It just needs to be bush hogged again, and it will be very clear, but not far from here. Just a few acres of this would be very clear. As you get up in there, there's a lot of trees. Eventually Duke Power will come in here and probably spray those and kill those down. So for me, I would be watching this. This is a high avenue of approach. There's some really steep spots in here. But if you wanted to get away from the roads, you could walk these. You could also handrail them. Handrailing is called, you don't want to walk in this open area because it's a little unsafe. People could see you literally for I don't know, half a mile, quarter mile, way up there. If someone was crossing that green area up there, I could see them, especially if I had binos. So it's called handrailing. You stay in the woods and you keep visual contact with the power lines. That way you don't get lost. And you can walk, and you're not getting lost. You're traveling the same direction as the power line. It's called handrailing. You'll definitely be hidden more. But if you're going to use power lines, get on Google Earth and start figuring out where homes are. There's a lot of trails in the woods here. You need to do a Google Earth early walk. Do it on computer and then see what you can do if you can walk some of this property. Now remember, a lot of it you're going to be trespassing, but we're talking worst case event, EMP, catastrophic failure, no law and order. You're going to have to do whatever it takes to get to your bug out location or get home. So yeah, power lines will work. Some places they're very rough. Let's talk about railroad tracks. If you ever walked on a railroad track, it's very uncomfortable. For my legs, I can't get the proper stride, so it's a little tiny baby stride. Very painful for me after a while. You can walk the rail itself, and that's a little bit easier. But if you got tired, it'd be hard to stay on that rail. There are a source. I'm going to give you. I'll put it in the link. Put a link in the section below the title, the description, and you need to check this out. I think it's called abandonrails.com, and you can look at your state and see all the rails that are abandoned. A lot of them have been turned into walking parks or walking trails. There's one I know of that's 130 miles long. So if you're in the area that you have to bug out to, that would definitely be helpful. We have one in our area called the Swamp Rabbit Trail, and you can walk a long ways, and some of our members are using that as a bug out path. That way, if they're bugging out, we know we can check that trail, and they can definitely be there. So we're not looking all over our area for them. So, do I say use them? Every person has a different individual bug out plan, so you're going to have to look at your plan. Will it work to use these? I recommend using the roads at first, but eventually it'll become too dangerous and you will have to get a little bit more secretive. So maybe using these at night, sleep during the day and move at night. You would cut down your contact with people a lot, and hopefully you won't see as many people. If you had a set of night vision, PVS 14s, the kind I use, the kind the military uses, you could move at night. You definitely cut your time down. You'd be a lot slower, but you'd be a lot safer. So think about it. Railroads, power lines, right-of-ways. Let me hear what you guys think. Thanks for watching.